Today I'm going to show you how to make an Ethernet cable. This is one of the basic things that every technician should know. So basically what I have here is I have a strip of cable that I'm actually going to put two ends on and show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to do is obviously get the cable to where you want it, or if you're only going to do a length. Talk about the tools. I have an RJ45 crimper.
And RJ45 is the type of cable.
RJ45 is the type of cable. And this one actually self-cuts at the end of the connectors. I have a pair of dikes to cut the cable. This is my wire stripper. There's multiple ones out there. And then I have a tester here. If you were doing a longer distance, you would need a loop back device, which is just something that you plug the cable in, and it'll basically create a loop for the tester to actually test. Otherwise, most testers do contain a main and then a loop on the tester itself. There's some of them. Those are the tools. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cable and you're going to strip the outer jacket. So all I did was put the stripper right there, and then I rolled around, and that actually stripped it in a nice perfectly circular cut. The cable that I have is actually shielded cable and meant for underground. So if you see, there is actually a foil in here and there is a drain wire, as well as a second coating. There are different ways to terminate both types of to terminate shielded and unshielded, and I have both the connectors, the different types of connectors. So if you look at the difference in the connectors here, you can see one has kind of a metal outer body and the other one's just a plain plastic body. Normally all of them have this kind of little string here. That's so that you can actually strip the wire back. I usually just cut it. This is not shielded. I'm not going to worry about my drain wire. And then you'll have four pairs. You'll have white orange and orange, white green and green, white blue and blue, and white brown and brown. So you start untwisting your cable, or the pairs, individually, and you get them straight.
Line them up.
Straightening them is very important because you are going to be putting them through an Ethernet connector, and if they're all kind of weird like this to where they're bended or bent, they won't go through that actual connector. So, but following the B color code, it will always go white, solid, white, solid, white, solid. But there is a specific color order that you follow. And as I'm getting this set up, it starts out white, white orange, orange, white green, blue, white blue, green, white brown. And once I get these all straightened out, I'll show you how that kind of looks when they're all straightened out and kind of going to be together. So if you can kind of see that, they're all in the color code or color pattern that they're supposed to be. So, and you can kind of see how some of the colors are trying to leave, like the blue kind of looks like it doesn't want to stay where it's at. So what I usually will do is I'll kind of work the cable just a little bit, just grab it all and kind of bend it back and forth, and that'll help straighten it. And then I will take my flush cut side cutters and cut them all to a
nice straight line.
Nice straight line. And this is very important because depending on the connector that you have, so once you get to this point, you're ready to put on the connector. So when you're looking at the cable, starting with the white orange, you always put it so that the copper pieces are pointing towards you. So the first pin should always be white orange. So if you can kind of see how there's 8 pins on that connector itself.
So the copper side facing you. Okay.
Normally you can gauge off of the actual connector if you want. Normally a good rule is every Ethernet connector has this kind of indent here, and that indent actually presses against the jacket to keep, and put your jacket there. Let me get this so that it's, put your jacket to where it needs to be crimped, and then you can see you want to probably cut it close to flush or maybe just a little bit below where the connector actually ends. So I will get this cut. Then you can see I'll have one of the jackets, not the other. It should still crimp it on pretty good. I could take it out and cut it again. So there you go. It's in there, and that indent should hit that jacket, and then it should be a fairly solid connection. The other thing that you'll want to do prior to crimping, you'll have to just verify through the plastic that you have the correct color code. So, and then crimping, you just install it, crimp it down. And there you go. It's crimped. Once you get a cable fully made, this is our tester, one of the testers that we have. So there's two ways you can use it. Like I was saying, if you're doing a single cable, pop out. If you're doing a single cable, you can plug it in, and it should give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on both sides. So the first one would be the first cable, the second one's the second cable. If you were going to do distance, so like if this was up on top of a mast arm and this is down in the cabinet, there is a remote loop that you can plug in that does the exact same thing, and you can see it shows you your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. And if I unplug it, you can see the numbers go away. Now if I hadn't done the same color code, it would have came up with different numbers for each one. So 1 might be 2, 2 might be 4, and it would show it up as 2 separate numbers. And so that's how you verify that your cable is number 1 good and number 2 that it's the same cable.